I have been seeing through my resources more and more people getting denied here in the United States for their Mexican residency application. And many of them, when you dig deeper, there's a reason why. And usually 9.999 times out of 10, it is their own fault. And so, what that equals up to for a lot of people is a waste of time, which is something you can never get back. It's a waste of money. And it's a hit on your ego, right? And sometimes people just give up there. And so the goal and objective of this live today is to hopefully minimize whatever errors are happening so that if you are interested in getting approved for Mexican residency, and this can apply for residency anywhere, actually the top 5 reasons, but I don't want you to waste your time. And so today's topic is all about the 5 reasons why people are being denied or will have their Mexican residency visa applications denied. And so again, they're simple, but often overlooked. We do the research so you don't have to. And I do a lot of research on this topic. I have quite a few clients in different parts of the US that I help through the process. And my record as of today, and I've been consulting since 2022, is a perfect 10. No one that has consulted with me that has applied for their residency has been denied. And so I just want to make this how to get started, how to get your ducks in a row so that you too will have the same type of results. You can find all types of resources about Mexican residency in our playlist on this channel. And so let's get into the top 5 reasons, y'all. The first one, we hear haste makes waste, right? Haste makes waste, and patience is a virtue. And what I am seeing time and time again, and I get it. Listen, people are flocking to these consulates because they are trying to get out of Dodge ASAP. And so a lot of people, the only thing they know is that they want to leave. They want to leave pronto. And they are not being strategic. They are being hasty, and they are not having the patience that it takes to make sure that your goal is achieved. Like, you may want to leave, but if you don't do the things that need to be done because you are just in such a rush to leave, then of course there's going to be I's that aren't dotted and T's that aren't crossed, right? And that's just like with anything. If you pack 10 minutes before you got to get to the airport, you're going to leave some things because you were hasty. You didn't put the list together. You didn't check off the things from the list. You're going to leave your medicine. You're going to leave your sunglasses. You're going to leave your sunscreen. You're going to leave some things. Yeah. So it's that type of mindset that are getting people denied. They are being way too hasty in the process. And a lot of people know that when it comes to government and bureaucracy, right, you have to be over prepared. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have versus the other way around, right? So it goes in line with the medicine. If you forget your medicine because you were hasty with your packing, then you may be in trouble. The goal today is to have people avoid wasting time first, which is the most precious commodity, and second, wasting money, and so that they get approved. Number 2, let's quickly go into number 2. Number 2, people are relying on old and outdated information. The one thing about Mexican residency, and I'm sure this applies to many other countries, their process is going to change year to year. And it's not going to be the entire process, but it's going to be that one thing that you did not pay attention to that will have you messed up during your interview or have you denied. People are looking at everything from old YouTube videos to old paperwork from a particular consulate here in the US, and they are not getting approved because they are not following the current directions. And whose fault is that? It's no one's fault but their own. Again, relying on old and outdated information will get you hemmed up every time. Let me just think of one of the items that will change from year to year or has changed. Well, number one, financial solvency requirements. Financial solvency requirements change from year to year. And so, if you are looking at a video from 2020 or 2021 or anything before 2025, which we're in right now, if you are looking at a dated video and basing all of your supporting documents off of that old video, then you're going to mess yourself up, especially if you don't meet the current and new requirements. And that's just one area. There are many, many more. That's just one area that I wanted to talk about. I want everyone, again, to just dot their I's and cross their T's. And hopefully, it will lead you to success in this process. So I took a couple screenshots yesterday. I want everyone to see that this is real. So let's just get into some of the reasons that I've been reading that people are being rejected and or not getting their visas the day of their appointment. Here's the first one. My wife and I had an appointment with the consulate in Santa Ana, California, a couple of weeks ago. Seems the woman we met did not like us, and there were many blatant lies told to us about what we did wrong, how we did not meet the requirements, etc. We hired an immigration consultant to help us with this, and while I admit we made a mistake with one piece of paperwork there, I easily could have fixed it on the spot, but the woman doing the interview seemed to have a very strong bias against us to begin with. She was rude, impatient, and just made things up that were not true and would not allow me to get a word in. We are willing to go anywhere we need to get our temporary resident visa so we can buy some land we want to build on. We are thinking we will try Vegas in the new year, but if you had an easy and friendly experience, please do share the name, location of the consulate you went to. We meet the income requirements easily. Thanks in advance. Comment below if you think it was their fault or the consulate's fault as to why they were not approved. My vote, it was their fault. Oh, the entitlement of it all. You're wasting their time coming in with incomplete paperwork and have the audacity to complain about their demeanor. But let's get into another one. Another person who went to apply for their Mexican residency visa but walked away empty-handed says, I want to apply for a permanent residency visa through solvency. I had an appointment in New York City for which I was prepared and it went well, but they needed to hold my passport for 10 days and I was leaving for Mexico 2 days later. Sadly, I was unable to complete the process. My bad. Only learned of this the weekend before my early Monday morning appointment. Once again, someone who got almost through the process, but unfortunately through their own errors was unable to complete it. My guess is they were trying to beat the system, get everything done during a quick vacation to Mexico, but there are rules, regulations, and processes that must be followed. And so let's get into the final example. And while this one is something that happened on the other side of someone trying to beat the system, it still applies. Let's just read. A person in this group had their daughter get stopped on their way to an I&M appointment. They were at the bus station that went through an immigration sweep. The daughter had an expired FMM. She went directly to an outside jail in Chetumal for 14 days, eating nothing but tortillas and rice, and was deported shortly thereafter. This is what happens when we break laws. And even though the regularization program is available, and if you don't know what that is, you can look it up, but it's a way to kind of beat the system to get residency in Mexico without proving anything, except that you overstayed your visa. And once you overstay your visa, you become an illegal alien. And this is what happened. So while many people get away with this process, if you happen to get stopped by immigration during one of these sweeps or any other reason, this is what will happen to you. You are an illegal alien, an illegal immigrant in a foreign country. You have overstayed your welcome, so to speak. And so many of the things that happen to us are our own fault and highly preventable. So let's go ahead and get back into the video. So yeah, so stop relying on old and outdated information. It is absolutely a waste of time for you. It will be a waste of money if you don't use the most current information. And also, not taking time to review the specifics as it relates to each consulate, not just any consulate, the specific consulate that you are going to. Just like I mentioned about relying on old and outdated information, some of these videos that you're watching are not specific to the consulate that you are applying at. And each consulate has different requirements. Overall, most of the consulates have different requirements, and the requirements may mean financial solvency requirements, the type of paperwork you need to bring, how you need to schedule your appointment. All of these things play a factor in distinctions between each consulate. So you do not want to go to consulate A with the requirements that consulate F has listed on their website, because A and F do not match. They don't equal. So A can easily deny you residency. I'm trying to provide simple solutions to make your research process and your entry into that country as seamless as possible. And so making sure you take the time to review the consulate that you are going to, not the one that you wanted to go to, not the one that your friend went to, not the one that your family member went to. The consulate that you are going to is the consulate that you need to pay close attention to. And then number 4 is believing that you can do what it is you want to do at that consulate and still get approved. And that, again, the things that I am seeing are mind boggling once you dig deep into why people were denied, have been denied. And I am in a plethora of communities and groups and WhatsApp groups with both applicants, facilitators, everything, all the things that are related to Mexican residency. And so believing that you can say, well, you know what? This place wants me to have notarized documents, but that's going to take too long. Or this bank won't allow me. They said they won't notarize. Listen, in a lot of ways, you are going to have to be creative. If it's something that you want, and I always use the example, if somebody said, if you come to me with these 5 things, and I will give you $1 million, $10 million, whatever $1 million, I promise you, you will do those things on that list as they are instructed. You will not say, okay, they told me to do 5 things, but I don't have time. So I'm going to just do these 4 things and think you're going to get the results or think you're going to get the money. So yeah, be hyper focused in your quest to get these residencies. And once again, I'm talking Mexican residency because that's where my experience lies. That's where I have proficiency in. But what I'm saying, from the haste makes waste to relying on outdated information to not taking the time to review the requirements at the specific consulate that you're going to, as well as not bringing all of the required documents that that consulate has listed that you need, are ways that you can very well and more than likely will be denied. I know we desperately want to get out of here. I get it. I get it. But I get it so much that my calendar for consultation calls was closed after tomorrow. I am going to open it back up for anyone interested. It's up to you because I am tired of seeing these people flying. Some people are flying. It's called consulate hopping for those of you that don't know. But because they may not meet a certain economic solvency in this state or this city, they will fly to a city where they do meet the economic solvency, but they have still not paid attention to every other requirement at that city's consulate. And so all they're looking at is, okay, I meet the financial requirement, but everything else that they require, you're not checking the boxes. There's just so many people not dotting their I's and crossing their T's. So, and believing that you can alter any of the requirements will get you a big fat rejection on your visa application. And another area that people are not paying attention to is the amount of time that it takes each consulate to provide the visa in your passport. You cannot change that. One consulate, you may get the visa the same day. Another consulate, it may take a week. As of the end of last year, end of 2024, the New York consulate is taking 2 weeks. When I got my residency at the New York consulate, it was 1 week. The year before that, it was the same day. So you have to know which consulate you're going to do the research on how long it may take. Because if you fly to another state and you think you may only be there for a day and you have your return ticket to come back because the consulate in your city can provide visas in the same day, you will be messed up. We had someone in our Flawless GEMNATION private membership share with us that she got her permanent residency on Tuesday. On Tuesday of this week past, she was in the Raleigh office. She had to go back. So she went. It wasn't a complete waste. She then just had to bring some more documents that were required. But again, luckily, she's not far. Imagine that being you flying into another state only to realize that you don't have all of the documents required, but you thought you were only going to be there for a day and you're going to get your visa and go home. Now you're mad at the Mexican consulates and giving up. Again, we celebrated her. I don't know if she's here today, but she probably doesn't need to be here today because she has her residency. So yeah. Um, and again, if you want to join the Flawless private membership, I keep forgetting to say this. We meet once a week. We're having a game night on a game day on Martin Luther King's birthday. So the game day is Monday. Our weekly meetup is on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the description. Feel free to join the Flawless private membership. We're unfiltered there. We talk about anything and everything. And that's why we were on for 4 hours and 15 minutes on Thursday. But it was just such a good time. We had a good time. And then you get a replay. You'll get a replay that'll be available for a week for you to review in case you can't stay for the whole thing or in case you can't make it. We're going to get into the fifth and the final thing. And that leads into why I decided to reopen my calendar for at least the next few weeks, is knowing yourself and if you need help in these areas, or you can do it on your own. And if you can do it on your own, God bless you, do it on your own. And that's why I'm going to take you also through consulate's website so you can see how to start, but also knowing when you need help and or accountability. And some people need that. And I'm one to pay for it any day, every day, especially not to waste my time. Some of y'all know my story. I did my process in Mexico by myself, but I had time. I was there for months. So, and it took a while for me to get the process done. I mean, I'm kind of glad I did what I did because I had the time. But if I was only there for 2 weeks, I would have been SOL. I would have been SOL. But if I would have hired somebody, I would have not been SOL. I did it on my own because I wanted to understand the bureaucracy as somebody who plans to spend a lot of time in Mexico. I wanted to understand what the bureaucracy was like, how to get through the process. So knowing when you need to hire somebody. So I hired somebody for the renewal process. If you are the type of person that you're always packing right before your flight, or you're the type of person that procrastinates until the last second, hire you somebody. Hire, especially if you want to get this done quickly, or if you want to get it done without having to do a do-over, hire somebody. So I have general coaching calls, and then I have Mexican residency, how to get your Mexican residency strategy calls. So what do you get with a consultation? Consultation, you get an hour, the first hour and with me, and then you get another 10 to 15-minute follow-up call. You also get a complimentary copy of the How to Get Mexican Residency Resource Guide, which includes, so you get a list of Mexican consulates in the US with clickable links for direct access. You get an explanation of what the role of the consulate is as it relates to residency. You'll get a at a glance map of the United States consulate, so you can see visually, okay, so I'm close to this place, but this place requires that I have this amount of money, but I don't have this amount of money. So what's next? What's closer to this place? Let me check to see if, I meet those requirements. So it's an at a glance map of the US. You get instructions on how to book your appointment at a Mexican consulate. You also get um, a breakdown of what financial solvency is, recent articles about Mexico and the US and our history, right? What is our history? Because I think a lot of times people don't understand our complex history with Mexico. They don't understand what states that are now part of the US used to be part of Mexico. They don't understand the borders and how and what the border laws and changes have been over the past, let's say, 100 years. And so there's some information about that and some other additional interesting facts and resources that you can link to. Listen, Miss P got it, and Miss P got approved. So yeah, I feel so blessed that she says the guide was perfect, very informative. Oh, you're, oh goodness. WM got it too. And she's approved. Listen, I'm only coming in because I know of what I speak. I want all of us to win and not waste our time and or our money in the process. And again, I just want to be able to reach everybody where they are. If all you need is a resource guidebook to help you in the process, go ahead, get this resource guidebook. If you need a consultation, I'm opening up the calendar for at least the next, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks. And so go ahead and book. I really hope this information was helpful. If you need any of the links that I talked about in this video, they are in the description below. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Check out our Stay Ready playlist and also this video that YouTube thinks you may like as well.